Now, I have a question for you. When people are hopeless, what about just giving them hope? Saying, no, it's gonna work. Talk to so-and-so. He was hopeless, but you know, it worked for him.
Yeah.
How about that? Saying, don't worry about it. It's gonna work out.
You're taking away their feeling.
You're taking away their feeling. Well, what's wrong with that? Being hopeless is not a problem.
It's a temporary solution.
It's a temporary solution.
Yeah,
Well,
but if it's
feeling
used right,
hopelessness
it can
is also a
feel-
temporary solution in some ways, isn't it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Feeling the hopelessness in a way is also temporary because you have to keep feeling it over and over
Until you finish with it.
until you're finished with it.
It's a big difference.
You're right, it's a big difference. It's like there is an end to it, hopefully. Hopefully. There is an end to hopelessness. Yes, there is. But again, it is an equation. You know, the day someone is going to put primal in math is going to be really brilliant, and it's not impossible at all. It's actually pretty simple, but yes, there is a way. So when you feel the hopelessness, you empty out some of that, you go into the primal zone and you feel some of the hopelessness. What is the logical thing that's going to happen afterwards? Number one, you're not going to be so hopeless. And number two, when you felt enough of it, you're going to feel what? Hope. You're going to be able to be hopeful. And when you are hopeful, then it means instead of saying, well, there's no point doing it, so I'm not going to study for my exam because I'm going to fail anyway. Well, I'm not going to try to get a ticket because I'm sure they don't have any left. When you have hope, what do? You act. Because what you want may happen instead of what you want will not happen. So it propels you towards life. It propels you towards rebuilding your life again. Now I have hope. So first, when you feel hope, you usually feel better than when you feel hopeless, because feeling hopeless is not fun. And when you feel hope, you are active again. You are in life again, because whatever you want to do or you want to try, there is a reason to try. You may get what you want. You may succeed in what you try. So it's very important. But if you tell the people, you know, there is hope, don't be so hopeless, there is hope, then the dialectic will make it that it will be hopeless because they will try, but the hopelessness will come back. Or they will try really halfway. Or they will say, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'll try one day, but they won't really, because they will still be dragged down by the hopelessness. So that's why, you know, it's like going through fire to be reborn in some way. That's what we have to do in some way. We have to feel that hopelessness so we can have the hope again. And so in terms of the therapy with our patients, it's really important to know when do we bring the level down, and not just, by the way, with exercise. There are other things I want to talk about. But here, when they are over the primal zone because they are overloaded with hopelessness, we have to bring them down so that they can start feeling a little bit of the hopelessness. It's not fun feeling hopeless. Why? Because it's attached to death, or fear of death, or the feeling of near death, right? No matter what I do to try to be born, it's not going to work, I'm going to die. That is imprinted in our system. So being hopeless has that connotation of death feeling. There's no point. And people who kill themselves is because they are hopeless. Otherwise, if they hope that tomorrow is going to be a glorious day, they're going to win the lottery, everybody's going to love them, and the sun is going to shine, they're not going to kill themselves. But if tomorrow they're going to be still poor, they don't have a job, nobody loves them, and they feel terrible, why not stop living? Living is not fun. So we have to find a way to bring that terrible feeling of hopelessness down. So besides exercise, what can we do?
I think touch is another thing, particularly for somebody who's overloaded.
Yeah, touch will bring the level down, but it's not addressing hopelessness specifically. What else can we do with a patient who is hopeless?
See, what I'm wondering are the people who have been advised about the things that keep them in hopelessness. For instance, not to continue on the computer, to go out, and when you know that this person gets triggered because they've told you they're triggered when they go outside and they do something, but they refuse to do that. They won't do that. They'll stay doing the things that keep them in their hopelessness. And we have a number of patients, usually a number of patients all the time, who are mired in the hopelessness. And they've been given some suggestions that'll help them to bring them out, to activate them. And it helps for a while, but then it brings them, if they still go back into their hopelessness.
One of the things that is necessary very often is that you actually sit your patient down and you give them a bit of a third line. You give them your third line.
Right.
You explain to them why it is so powerful in the present, why they feel like nothing is going to work or that the therapy is not going to work. You have to be their third line for a while because the hopelessness is right here in the present. The therapy does not work. Nothing can help me. It's not true. Nothing can help you only when you're dead. So what we have to do is be strong enough to be their third line for a while. The first line, hopelessness, the second line, hopelessness, and all of that shooting up in the present, and now you are so hopeless that you don't know that there is a reality that is not hopeless. With the therapy and with reality, it may work. And so what you have to do is that you have to become their cortex. You have to explain this to them. You have to say, look, this is an old feeling, because in life, as long as you're alive, there is always hope. And that hope is only going to be alive as much as you are willing to keep it alive by feeling the hopelessness. But the hopelessness is not in the present. It's a past feeling, like all the other feelings you're going through.
That will give them hope.
And that will give them hope. And it will bring the level of the hopelessness down. There is something you can do about your hopelessness. Your hopelessness is not hopeless.
Yeah.
That's what they have to know. Now, if you give them, if you deny by saying, oh yeah, you know, there's no reason to be hopeless because there's a lot of hope and all that, that's one thing. But if you say to them, it is a feeling that you can feel. And as you know, when you feel a feeling, it takes away that painful part of it and the hopelessness will come down. And as a matter of fact, last week, you started with hopelessness. We went to the feeling that gave it birth, that made it come up. And when you left the session, were you still feeling hopeless? No, I wasn't. There you are. Now, remember that. When you start feeling hopeless, remember it's a feeling. I can feel it, and then I won't be so hopeless. And the more I feel hopelessness, the more I am building my real hope for life and to get my life. And it's not the same as denying. Someone say, well, you know, it's no, nothing is going to work. No, it's going to work, don't worry about it. It's not the same. But it's giving them the reality. It's giving them the third line that is totally lost, that is completely engulfed into that hopelessness, which is so powerful. It is saying, feel it. And as you know, it will work. You get that feeling, and that little piece of hopelessness is going to go away. And it's going to be replaced by whatever it is you want to do in your life. And by the way, also when they are hopeless, they don't even want to try. You have to help them, push them into do it, try it. What if it works? What if you are admitted to UCLA? What if you are smart enough and good enough so that you will succeed at your exam? What if the person you feel doesn't love you, you're not even going to try to call them and to find out if they want to be with you? What if it does work? Don't act onto the hopelessness. Feel the hopelessness. And then you'll be free from that little piece of hopelessness. And then you won't even have to force yourself to do the thing. You'll just do it. Because the hopelessness won't be sitting on top of what you wanted to do. Then you'll just do it. It will be a natural thing for you to do it. Because it won't be crushed by the hopelessness that tells you, there's no point trying, don't even do it.